Hi, this is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. Welcome to the lesson. I'm going to show you how you can eradicate string noise or string ring as it's sometimes called. Now, a lot of bass students have problems with this when they first start playing the bass, so I'm going to show you why it happens and how you can solve that. Now, you might have noticed with your playing that you're getting loads of extra noises ringing out. For example, if you're playing a kind of bass line, you might hear these extra notes. You might hear those ringing out. Okay, so there's two main reasons why you get these notes ringing out. So the first one is that you're not muting the notes properly, and the second one is you might be brushing these extra notes and strings as you're going to another string. Now, with an electric instrument, this pickup, or your pickups, one or two of them, are going to pick up loads of extra noises, and they're going to pick up any resonance going on with your bass and really amplify those sounds. So you need to be extra careful on an electric instrument that you're muting your instrument properly. Now, I'm not talking about fret buzz here. You can get that when your instrument isn't set up properly, or your action's too low, or when you're just not fretting the notes properly. So you might get a sound like this, kind of. That kind of fret buzz, but you can eliminate that by pressing down properly first of all, but I'll do that in another lesson. So this is just purely how you mute your strings properly. Now I'm going to give you three simple solutions to this issue. Now the first one is with your right hand, with your plucking hand, you have to be playing rest strokes, and that just means when you pluck the note that you rest on the string below. So if you're playing an E, for example, you can't really rest on the string below. But if you're playing the A, you can rest on the E. So whether you're doing single plucking or alternate plucking, say try it with alternate plucking, just on the A string, you want to land on the E string below. Now there's one simple reason for doing that, and that's that you're going to mute the string below. And also it's going to encourage you to play with the pads of your finger, so this part, rather than plucking outwards, so you're going to get a much fatter, bigger sound. So at the same time, you're going to be increasing your bass tone and you're going to be muting the string below. So just try an exercise where you're just playing alternate plucking on the A string, like that, and just make sure you land on the string below. Now the second solution is moving your thumb to your different strings as you're plucking. So if you pluck your E string, you'll just have your thumb on the pickup or on the body of the bass, wherever you like, doesn't really matter. But when you play the A string, move your thumb up to your E string. So you're muting your E string both with your thumb and with your rest strokes. Now you have the option here of moving your thumb up to the A string when you're playing the D and the G string. So not all players do this, I do it quite a lot, but it's a good idea to try it out, and you can also mute the strings while you're doing it. So also, if you have your thumb on the A string, use this part of your thumb here to be muting the E string at the same time. So like this. Okay, so you can do a rest stroke from the D, and you're muting the A and the E at the same time. Now this is a sort of technique I borrowed from the 5 string really, because you've got a low B, and when you're not using that, that has to be muted, or it's such a low kind of rumble noise that you hear through your amp. So I use that with the E and the B, but you can use it with the A and the E as well. But I wouldn't move up to the D string with your thumb. Okay, so we're going to try a simple exercise here. Just keep your thumb on the bass, wherever you have it normally when you're playing the E string, on the bass or on the pickup, doesn't matter. And just play some alternate picking notes on the E with both fingers. And then move your thumb to the E string and play the A string. And then move your thumb to the A string and play the D string. And remember to mute the E string at the same time. And then play the G string. So when you're playing the G string, you're actually muting the E and the A with your thumb, and then you're playing rest strokes to land on the D. So everything's covered. Okay, so that's the important thing about eradicating all the string noise. You want to get as many kind of fingers down on the bass, on the strings that you aren't using, to try and eradicate any extra noise. Now the third technique is with your left hand or your fretting hand. So what you want to do is the strings that you aren't playing, you want to mute them with your left hand as well. So for example, if you're playing bass lines on the E and the A string, you can be muting the D and the G string with your fingers. Okay, now I always kind of keep my first finger like this, kind of slightly barred, like you would play a bar chord on a normal guitar. So I kind of, with this part of my finger, I'm kind of muting the D and the G quite a lot. So watch my first finger there. Okay, so what you've got there is you've got a combination of left hand muting and right hand muting. Now, there are lots of different muting techniques. These are the main ones, but other people have sort of developed their own techniques over time. So some people just use the third and the fourth finger of their plucking hand on the strings likely that they aren't playing. So they kind of say they're plucking the A, you know, keeping the third and fourth finger on the D and the G. Now, I don't use that technique. It seems quite awkward to me, but I'm not used to it. But some people it works great. And then other players like Rocco Prestia, with his fretting hand, he only really used to use these two fingers. Maybe it was even one finger, but he used to mute the rest of the strings with his third and fourth finger. So kind of like this. So now I'm going to show you a bit of the riff from Black Magic Woman, because this is a fairly simple riff when you hear it. But it's actually quite hard to mute everything properly. I mean, look at my right hand when I'm playing it. I'll play it slowly. So there's quite a lot going on in my right hand. If you look at my left hand, I'm muting the D and the E with my first finger. So there's always some muting going on with both hands. So you try that riff now. So on a D, you're just doing the D, A, C, D, okay? Starting on the A string, 5, on the D string, 7, on the G string, 5 and 7. They're your 4 notes. Okay, if you don't mute, you can hear that ringing out already. Okay, so that's me trying not to mute, but with muted. And Black Magic Women, if you don't know, it's just that riff on D, A and G. So it just alternates between those 3 chords. Now what I encourage you to do is to practice these 3 techniques that I've given you in this lesson. So using rest strokes, moving your thumb of your plucking hand, and also using left hand muting. Now, as I said, different players have developed their own way of doing this. I remember, first of all, I had to concentrate quite a lot on all the moving parts to try and make sure I was kind of muting every string. But now I kind of do it automatically. If you're interested in pursuing this further and looking at more string muting and also developing your sound, then head to my homepage of gbshed.com and you'll find you can download a free digital download of an ebook. And in that I talk about how to do different string mutings, different right and left hand techniques to get a better tone, how to set your amp up and how to set your bass up. So that's on my homepage, gbshed.com. And I've also made a mini video course that you can purchase, and there's details in the ebook. It basically demonstrates what I talk about in the ebook, so that might be useful for some of you. I'm going to put all that information with the links below this video in the description. So just click any of those links there or head straight to gbshed.com. Also remember to subscribe to me here on YouTube, press the red subscribe button and also click the notification bell and you'll find out about all my new video releases. This is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. Hopefully I'll see you soon in the next video.